The bench press is one of the foundational movements that you need to learn when doing strength training. But there's a lot of things that go into it prior to getting underneath that barbell. 4 things in particular that you need to learn so you can get set up properly and do the movement with ease. First one, your feet. Where do they actually go? I'd recommend when you're getting set up, put the feet and as wide as possible, not super wide so they're kicked out, but so they're firmly planted right on the ground. Your feet are going to help create and drive tension throughout your body. Even though the bench press predominantly works your chest, your feet are anchored into the ground and it's going to help provide tension and stability as it travels through your glutes and adds to the actual movement itself. Trust me, the weight gets heavy enough, if those feet aren't secured, they're going to kick out and you're going to feel it. 2, when you get on that bar, you want to make sure, underneath the bar, you want to make sure that it's set up so your forearms are perpendicular to the ground. So we don't want them too far bent in this position or too far out wide. We want them straight up and down. Now, it might take a rep or 2 to understand where that bar should be and where your forearm should be. But I recommend doing that maybe with a PVC pipe or a very light bar to understand, oh, this is where my hand position on that bar is and my grip is. Now, depending on how long your arms are or how short they are, it might differ, but it's predominantly going to be from where the knurling is to that first ring on the barbell, in between that area right there. The third thing you want to imagine is that when we get the bar in our hands, it's actually right here at the base of your hand, right above your palm. It doesn't want to hang out here by your fingertips or even by the base of the fingertips, because that is going to create a lot of tension in your wrist and in the forearm. You don't want it. So again, when you get underneath this barbell, you want to make sure that it's right in the meat of the hand, that palm. It's going to help allow the weight to transfer all the way through. It's going to do that regardless, but it's going to feel a lot better on your body than having the barbell up here. And then when you get all set up with the hand positions, the forearms are perpendicular to the ground, the bar is actually in this meat of the hand, right? You need to make sure you're applying tension to the barbell. Now, what does that mean? You grab that bar and you're thinking about snapping it in half. So if you imagine the barbell here, you want to snap it. And what that does is that pull your shoulders back and down. That's a lot to think about. Just think about breaking that bar. Anytime you do that, you create tension. Just like you're creating tension with the ground, where you're digging your feet into the ground and trying to almost rip it apart, you want to think about ripping that barbell apart with your hands. Doing that at the top of the body. And the bottom is going to create one solid unit for the bench press, because this gets heavy. And if you're not tight underneath that barbell, you're all locked in by yourself. It can be very dangerous. On that note, if you're doing this by yourself, don't use collars, because if things go wrong, you can let the weight slip out, or make sure you have a safety bar. Now, I'm doing this by myself. Obviously, there's no way I'm proficient at doing it, but whenever I do it and I am by myself, I don't have any collars on, and I usually have safeties. Let's get back to it. So when we get all set up, my feet are all set up, I got underneath that barbell, I make sure that my forearms are perpendicular to the ground. It's in the meat of my hand. I take it out of that barbell, and right here, this is going to be position 1 for the bench press. So step 1, right? Take a deep breath, great tension, and then about all the way down. The barbell is going to sit between the nipple line and right above that solar plex, and I press again, press, and I bring it right back to the top of the uprights and let the bar slide down to the actual hooks. That is what you want to do, because letting it come for the hooks or trying to aim for the hooks is going to be bad news bears. Always go for the uprights, because at least you know you're here in the bar or on the rack. So that's the bench press. It is a lot more setup before you get underneath the bar, but it's going to be worth it. But if you're having actual trouble learning the bench press and it's tough on this actual bench, try the floor press. You're going to be on the floor and you might be more locked in, so always get a partner, especially for the floor press. But that's going to teach you how to come down with control. Yes, it might be a shorter range of motion, but you'll learn that proper setup coming all the way down and press. You may not be able to use your legs because it'll be laying out from underneath you, but it'll give you the chance to set up without having to think too much about other things. The floor press is a great option if the bench press, for whatever reason, isn't accessible to you, or you just don't have a setup. You can always lie on the ground and press from the floor. So again, if that's you and you're having trouble with the bench press, try the floor press out, create a video here that you can watch that will help you.